I'm sorry, I left you out there all crooked. We've got thunderstorms potentially for the next few hours, possibly. The rain was forecast and it's getting darker behind me. And maybe what you could hear was the water butt filling. It was, I heard it. I was sitting here playing my farming game earlier and I was thinking, what's that noise? I can hear a noise, and I hadn't realised what it was, but it's the water butt filling, or overfilling, because it's just, we've had a lot of rain. So yeah, what a difference a day makes. I was thinking about, I don't know whether it came into my head, something came into my, oh, that was it was lilac. I looked at something, I saw something on Facebook about making a lilac cordial. And I was intrigued by the post because the photography was just beautiful, of the jar with the lilac in it and some lemon slices. So that took me down a bit of a rabbit hole. But I don't know why, but I thought about, there are various, well, it might have been when I was walking down this morning to get the chickens out. There's old wives' tales about not bringing lilac indoors, I think that's one of them. And then there's the other one about don't put new shoes on the table. And then there's don't cross your knives, or throwing salt over your shoulder. And I thought, oh, don't put an umbrella up indoors. I mean, I'm sure that you know more than that. They're the ones that come to mind. And I'm thinking, why? Because that's the sort of person I am. I probably didn't, as a child, I probably didn't ask. You know, it was like, you know, oh, don't put new shoes on the table. Okay. But now I'm thinking, well, why? What's the problem? Why not? And I want to know where it was on that day that somebody put new shoes on the table and some catastrophic incident happened. And ever since, the whole myth has spread that you shouldn't put new shoes on the table. Or the umbrella, putting the umbrella up indoors, you know, probably smashed a chandelier or something. But where did that start? I know it's an old wives' tale, but why is it an old wives' tale? What happened for that to become an old wives' tale? That is my question of the day. Hope you can help me. We're both feeling better. We were feeling better yesterday, but I think we're back to 100% for us. We went up, we just went into Intermarché because I'd run out of butter. I needed some veg. I'm going to do roast beef tomorrow. So we drove up to Intermarché. I went in, I said, I'm going to take a trolley just to make life easier for myself. Took a trolley, only had a few items, 8 items in the trolley. Okay, and I said to Mark, but when I come out, if you get out of the car and load the boot up for me, that's good, because getting into the trolley is really hard for me because it's so deep. It's just too deep for me. I have to be careful how I have it positioned at the checkout to be able to reach into it. I said, so if you get out of the car when I come out and you load it in, and that made it easy. But when we got back here, we were both struggling to get out of the car, and I said, oh God, you know, just the effort of getting out of the car. But we are both feeling well. He has had his lawnmower up on the stand, the thing that he bought, the lift, because something happened to it the other day when Duncan was out there doing the fencing. Mark was mowing, and all of a sudden it stopped mowing. The blades stopped turning, and he had it up on the lift to have a look and see if he could sort it, and he can't. He said, it's beyond me. So it only took him an hour to get that far. He'd been dreading it, lifting it. So he said to me this morning, he said, I'm going to take a run at it. And that's an indicator that he's feeling well, for him to be ready to do that. So he did that, isn't able to do it. It's only just over a year old by a month. So after Easter, because it's a ferié day on Monday, after Easter we'll go down to the place where we bought it. And I've told Mark he's to play dumb. Don't tell them you've fiddled with it. Don't tell them what you think it is. Just pretend you don't know, because it might still be under guarantee and you might have, what's the word? I can't think of the word. Thingied the guarantee if you've been fiddling with it. I learned something yesterday in the bank that doesn't make sense at all. She asked us, do you want... Now, I understood the words, didn't understand what they were in context of being at the bank. I understood the words, but if you translate them literally, she asked whether we wanted droit de découvert. Now, translating that literally, which I could do, was a right to discover. Like, do we want a right to discover? And I went, je ne comprends pas. So we had to use Google Translate. And Google Translate said, do you want an overdraft? So we'd fiddled around. And she goes, do you want an overdraft? I went, no. It's like, we laughed because it was like all of that just for me to go, no. Yeah, droit de découvert, a right to discover, is how it's literally translated. It doesn't make sense to me. Thank you, Alain, for helping me with my tax form. It was just... I hadn't ticked a box in the annexes. That's what I'm going to do in a minute. I'm going to print off the tax form that I've completed this year, because I don't normally. I'm going to print it off so then I've got a template for next year. But I hadn't ticked a certain box in the annexes, so that annex wasn't coming up. So my daughter, ChatGPT, and you were telling me it's in 5 something, it's in 5 something, and it's like, I haven't got a 5 because it hadn't come up. So that was brilliant, thank you. I think that's it really. I'm farming, comme d'habitude, and I had problems unloading my wheat. And for some reason, by mistake, I dropped the weight off the front of my tractor, and then I was able to unload. Now that was only by chance that I'd pressed the wrong button and dropped the weight. So that seems to be the issue. You'll be pleased to know I've resolved it. So that's good, isn't it? I haven't looked at anything political not properly looked at anything political for a day or two. I'll be back to it, I'm sure, but I'm just taking some time out from that. And I was thinking how hard it is. It's very easy for me to step back and take time out. And I was thinking how hard it is for all of you over there living the nightmare. I wish that your nightmare would end. I wish that your nightmare would have a happy ending very soon. But I really do appreciate how hard, well, I don't appreciate it because I can't be in your shoes. But I know I can take a step back, and I know that you can't. And I think that's very, very difficult. Anyway, I thought I'd show you a bit of the weather today compared to yesterday, 24 hours later. And I'm going to go and carry on farming. So thanks as always for your comments and your subscribing and your likes. And I'll be back tomorrow probably with something else that I thought, oh, I remember what I wanted to say. Okay, take care, bye.